Hey guys, welcome back to the channel where it's all about racing. I'm Mark, and in this particular episode, we're going to talk about commissioned race cars. Those that you more commonly might find on eBay, and many of you may have in your collection. These are cars that were specifically contracted or commissioned by manufacturers such as Toyota, Peugeot, Aston Martin, Porsche, Mercedes, to be made for distribution either to employees or for retail sales. I thought I'd start off with talking about these cars first. These are the ones that probably every single one of you watching this video has at least one of these in your collection. These are Porsche dealership edition cars. So what does that mean? These cars were commissioned or contracted by Porsche for Spark to produce. And then what they would do with these cars is they would distribute them through their retail dealerships, their car dealerships, their headquarters in Germany and in Atlanta, Georgia, as well as retailers that specialize in Porsche. And they're always going to be in these oversized boxes. They're going to have this huge jewel case. They're going to have Porsche on it. Always Porsche on the box itself. It's all about Porsche. Sometimes they'll have pictures of the car in the back, sometimes on the inside. It varies from vehicle to vehicle. Sometimes they are limited edition. The three that I'm showing you here, to my knowledge, are not. All three of these were winners of Le Mans. But that's irregardless. I've got plenty that were not. But these are Porsche dealership edition cars. Now this one is the second of those. These are Mercedes dealership edition cars. And these were cars that were contracted by Mercedes-Benz, in this case through Mini Champs, to sell through their dealerships. Their, dealerships all around the country and the world, as well as select retailers. In this case, this was a Mercedes-AMG F1 W5. Nothing special, except it was a championship-winning car for Lewis Hamilton. But anyhow, these are ones that were distributed through the Mercedes dealership. Now, they can be F1, they can be sports cars. I have seen a number of these on retailers. This is the only one that I own. Now, this next one is one that may fool many of you. This is a Peugeot 9x8. I believe this, too, to be a commissioned car. The reason I say that is Spark makes tons and tons and tons of Le Mans winning and other cars that compete at Le Mans from the 1930s through the current period. But their boxes and packaging are always Le Mans related. The graphics on it are those of the graphics of that particular year of Le Mans. The graphics you would see on their programs, whatever. This one was specifically about Peugeot and about the 9x8, which was not a particularly good running car. And in fact, it was a losing car, but it was very, very unique in its, channel effects and everything else, the fact that it lacked a rear wing. But you can see that the box reflects off the livery. You see Peugeot Sport on it. Look at the back of it. You've got Peugeot. And on the bottom, you've got Spark, Minimax, and of course, Peugeot. Now, this next one, I suspect, is a BMW dealership edition car. I just don't have any other way to explain this unusual looking car or looking packaging that I have. You see BMW on the front of the outer case, and on the back of it, you've got BMW V12LM, 24 Hours of Le Mans, 1999. Supermodel, collector's model, blah, 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 one. And if you take a look at the inside of it, this is what it looks like when you take it out of the box. It just says BMW on it. And then you have to unfold it. And when it opens up, it looks like this. Now, guys, I'd be honest with you. Just to affirm who makes this car, I'm tempted to take it off the base. There's nothing that's really particularly delicate on it. The mirrors are always delicate. The antenna is already bent, and I think it was made that way, specifically because it was packaged this way. But I don't think I'd ever be able to get it back on. It's just really odd. So I don't know who made this, but I do believe this to be a product commissioned by BMW to be made by whoever. Let's just say Mini Champs, for lack of a better option, for their employees and potentially for retail sale. Next, we're going to talk about Toyota. Now, I'm almost certain that these three cars were commissioned by Toyota to be made to distribute probably to Toyota dealerships through VIPs, employees, so forth and so on. The reason being, these were from the 2017 season, a year that they lost at Le Mans, and they're oversized for one. They're unique in their packaging. These are, and you can see it, they are 1/38 scale. I don't know of any other car I've ever seen that is 1/38 scale. These are the only ones I have in my collection that are 1/38, and they're not particularly good cars. They lack aerials, something that you'd almost never see on a Spark car. Now, that's the reason I believe that these were never meant for retail sale, because they're just not up to Spark standard of quality, and were probably commissioned to be either sold through their dealerships or given to employees of Toyota. Now, this next one is from Toyota Gazoo Racing, and you can tell that by looking at the box. Why do I believe this is a commission car? This was the year, that of 2018, when they finished first and second in the 24 Hours Le Mans, and Spark has made tens of thousands of these cars for sale, but none in a package set like this, which is very distinct and very different from their usual offering. Now, when you open this, it looks like so. It's got a picture of the cars at Le Mans, the winning drivers. You've got both cars crossing the finish line, the number 8 first, the number 7 second, and you've got the little man with the checkered flag. They only made 1,500 of these, this being 1,109 of those 1,500. I have seen these on eBay for years and years and years, generally selling for well over $100, sometimes almost $200, even though I only paid about $100 for this, which I consider to be a pretty good deal. But this was, in my opinion, a celebratory edition, special edition car that they made either to give to VIPs or to be sold through dealerships or sold through other retail outlets. Now, last but not least is the Aston Martin collection. These cars, I believe, to be made by IXO. The first one is this one here. You can see Aston Martin Racing DBR9. These models are to celebrate Aston Martin Racing DBR9 wins at Sebring and Silverstone. This is a limited edition car. They made 1,500 of these. They come in very unique packaging. It is a huge slipcase. And on the back of it, all you see is Aston Martin. Aston Martin, Aston Martin. Nothing about the manufacturer, but I believe it to be IXO. It's a really nice looking set. They're very nicely done. Are they Spark quality? No, but they're still very, very good. And the last one is this Aston Martin DBR9. This one we absolutely know to be made by IXO because it notes it. But again, you have pictures of the car all over the box here. And everywhere you look, it's got the car. And when you open this sucker up, oops, there you have it. You've got an Aston Martin DBR9, the number 59 car. I do not believe this to be a limited edition car, but obviously commissioned by Aston Martin to be sold in retail outlets to promote their brand, and a very, very cool and a very, very neat car. Well, folks, that wraps it up. Hope you've enjoyed this edition of It's All About Racing. If you have any questions, comments, or any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.